Alright guys, Chris Miasma coming back at you. I got one of my favorite decks, the one I took with me to Regionals last year. Here, it's the Overlord, the Rebirth, and the End deck. It's the Rebirth of the End. So let's see, we got our starter. A lot of my friends ask me why I run the Grade 3 Searcher instead of do whatever. But I don't care, the Grade 3 Searcher has helped me. It's one of my favorite ones to use in this deck. It's just, you know, that card, you know it feels right. Not that it's very good, not that it's very bad. You just really like the card. Let's get into this now. We got our trigger lineup. 4 heals. As you've seen with some of my decks, I like to run multi-artworks. Namely just because unless really the triggers have a specific ability I want, I don't feel the need to run, you know, so many of this artwork, so many of that artwork. I will just run whatever and be fun with it. We run 2 Tar, 2 Gora, 2 Blu-ray Draco Kid, who is actually one of my favorite artworks for the Kagero critical triggers. Namely just because, Dragon, let's give him a cannon. Why not? And 2 Agla, however you say this guy's name. But he's still pretty cool looking. The only triggers I don't multi-do are Gatling Claw Dragon, because Counterblast 1, kill their starter. Kill that trigger they put out that may or may not have a useful ability. Just in general, say screw you to whatever they may or may not be trying to do. Alright, let's get into our grade 1s here. I run 4 Perfect Shields. This one I didn't multi-art for regionals. Namely just because, since you have to list each card's individual card digits, it would have become a major hassle. So like, you know, list their set, list their rarity, blah, 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 blah. I really didn't want to put up with doing that 500 billion different times for 500 billion different cards. We got 4 Embodiment of Armor Bar. A lot of my friends question why I used Bar in the deck. I namely use him. He's a great first turn ride if you get him. You also have him and Burning Horn make awesome rearguard columns. So even if your opponent boosts their Vanguard, it's like I'm still hitting you for pretty sweet numbers. Then we have 2 Lizard Soldier Grom. I'm actually going to be, as I said in my previous Perdition video, I'm going to be combining aspects of both of these decks into the X deck. There's a new grade 1 version of him that has 7,000 power versus 5 and isn't as soul costy. But he's a Soul Blast 2 to Unflip 2. So I think he's good in this deck for now. But I'm going to replace him really soon. Then I've got 3 Eternal Bringer Griffin. Perfect for, let's just ditch a 3 and search the actual 3 we want. If we don't get it off our grade 3 searcher. Which is 9 times out of 10 your Break Ride, which is the only card you can search with it. But you want to open up into that first anyway. Next up, this is another one my friends kind of hurt me for as far as running in the deck. But it's one that I really like as an aesthetic choice. The 10k Vanilla Cross-Shot Garp. I love him in the deck. A lot of my friends ask me why this, why that. It's the same thing with my starter and my 8Ks. I kind of like cards that have power and can really punch behind them. And Garp has not minused me. He hasn't severely plussed me either, but you know what? He hasn't hurt me. A lot of the other cards that are for strategic purposes have kind of like backfired in my face or I couldn't pull them off. We also run 2 Belcosity Dragon, because it should be fairly obvious. Flip damage occasionally when hitting, or just use him to lure off an attack that you may need, you know, to go somewhere else. And just like I said earlier, Burning Horn, I run 3 of them in the deck. Love them in there. 12k hitters in every deck are good. The only thing that's a small downside is a lot of the new ones they're coming out with have to attack the Vanguard specifically. For instance, Gear Chronicles Twin Mazer Dragon must hit the Vanguard to become 12k, otherwise it's just a 9k body. Which really sucks when you're trying to, you know, get rid of their 10ks or their grade 3 that they just played on rearguard. Then we have 3 Burnout, which will be perfect come the X. which I will have a few of them coming in the mail soon, so hopefully I can put up that deck profile for you soon. Maybe within the next week or two I'll have that up. But that does it for my grade 2s. Now let's get into my favorite part, the darker part of this deck that makes it all so beautiful and evil and wicked and fiery and scaly. Our grade 3s. We run 3 Break Ride Dragonic Overlord. And a lot of you are going to say, oh, why not 4 and have this and have that? But as the beginning of the name said at the beginning of the video, oh, this is the Overlord Rebirth of the End. So basically that should tell you what's all in this deck. We have the Break Ride Overlord. We have 3 The Ends, which are perfect for my mid-game. And then our finisher, the one that everyone loves to hate, Dragonic Overlord Rebirth. One of my favorite cards in this deck. Like, a lot of my friends actually love the card in here. They don't agree with my grade 3 ratios, namely because they think I should go one way or the other, either Rebirth or the End. I've done both solely. This deck has it all. Given the only problem I find with it is hard to get my the Ends off really well, unless it just happens to line up that way. But even if it doesn't, you can still threaten your opponent and force them to waste a lot of guard presence. Lure out that perfect guard. Lure out all those zeros in their hand. Or if they let you hit and you happen to have it, punish them again. Or if you get exceptionally lucky, do it again. Because the End, as long as you can pay that counterblast and hit, you can keep doing it. Well, and then just the final thing I recently added to this deck with the introduction of Stride. I'm still waiting on my Kagero Strides to come out, but I use 4 Harmonics Messiah, and then because I have them, I run 3 Divine Dragon Knight Mahmood. Namely just because it's a Kagero Stride, that triple drive actually does help out the deck a lot, and it kind of lets it compete with, you know, all the new stuff that's up in the world. But anyway, please subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see or may want to see. Or if you might enjoy things like a meta talk or certain other things you might want to hear. But I'll let you guys go. Have a great night and I'll be seeing y'all soon.